Our next order of business is H.R. 6757, Family Savings Act of 2018. I'll now turn to Mr. Kelly, the bill's sponsor, to give an opening statement.
I thank the Chairman for this markup. The enactment of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act nearly 9 months ago was a legislative milestone and a historic victory for the American people. This new law has turbocharged our nation's economy to historic heights, bolstering businesses of every shape and size, and most importantly, giving hard-working American taxpayers at every income level more take-home pay. The evidence is clear and the facts don't lie. Tax reform has been an undeniable success story. The package we are discussing today, Tax Reform 2.0, is the logical next step for our committee to build on the enormous success that our country has been seeing. Among the common sense packages, there's 3 pillars, and I'm especially proud to be the lead sponsor of H.R. 6757, the Family Savings Act, which will help families of every background prepare for their future. With so many households receiving new bonuses and bigger paychecks, thanks to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, now is the perfect time to make the tax cuts permanent and make sure that Americans have the financial security they need to handle anything that life may throw their way. Simply put, this is about helping every American citizen enjoy a happy retirement and peace of mind the years when they deserve it the most. You know, Chairman, I would, for the record, I'd like to submit a piece from Market Watch, what has to do with a study that was done, and it's Google had done it. But this is something I think that all of us need to know. And people back home watching this, or people that are within listening distance would hear this. It's stunning to me that approximately 62% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account, and 21% of Americans don't even have a savings account. Now, in a time when it seems that we're making more money than we've made before and the country is enjoying incredible economic growth, we have to ask ourselves, so why is it that Americans aren't saving? Why is it that our pensions aren't as strong as they should be? And there's been the old adage that my parents said this for years to us as we were growing up. Look, it's not how much you make, it's how much you save. So if the question becomes, if 62% of us don't have $1,000 in savings, and I'm talking about cash that you can access, not the ability to borrow $1,000 for something that may show up and you weren't expecting it, that's incredible that we're that far away from what is so important to all of us to have stability. Now look, I would just say this, to most people that are reaching their senior years, their golden years, it would be much better if they had a little more gold to enjoy those golden years. And so if we look at what we're trying to do today with 6757, everything about this piece of legislation has to do with incentivizing hardworking American taxpayers and hardworking Americans to start to do something to put more money away and not to penalize them. So as we go through this piece, and I know today is disappointing to a certain extent. It used to be people who say, listen, every dark cloud has a silver lining. It just seems to me we're looking today and saying, no, every silver cloud has a dark lining. There's some here in here that people just aren't able to understand what has actually happened in the last 6 months or 7 months or 8 months, or when we passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. I got to tell you where I'm from. I haven't had anybody come up to me and say, you know what, you SOB, you've made it harder for me to get through life. You know what, the reason I won't make any investments in my business, the reason I won't buy any new equipment, the reason I won't hire more people, the reason I won't educate more people is you damn Republicans are in my wallet again. So I would just say, look, you know what happens here is fine. But I would say this, I think after watching the Senate circus of when it comes to Judge Kavanaugh, I would hope the American people would look at what we're doing today and say, you know what, they may not agree on everything, but they're trying to do things that make our lives better, which is what we all came here to do. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that we have the same goals. Now, how we get there is a little bit different. But what I love the fact is we can meet like this, we can have that discussion, and we can walk out of here at the end of the day and say, you know what? Are people better off for the years that we spend here or not? And I just hope that that's the message we're getting across to people. So, Chairman, again, thanks for the markup. I'm really looking forward to the debate. Now,
Gentleman yields back.